If you want to plant or transplant a tree, fall is a good time of year to do it. But there are things you need to do to ensure that tree has a chance to thrive and survive throughout the winter. Joining us now are arborists Simon Peacock and Makar. Good morning to both of you.
Hey.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now, you are arborists, so you know everything there is to know about trees. Why is the fall time a good time to either plant a new tree or move one from one spot in your yard to another?
Fall might be a good time because the trees are starting to harden for the winter, which means they're going into dormancy. It's sort of like hibernation.
Okay.
And they're building up all kinds of compounds that help them resist the cold.
Okay, so this is a good time even now because why is that? What's happening in the environment that tells the tree this is the time to start going into dormancy?
So air temperatures are starting to decrease. At some point, soil temperatures will start to as well, and also the light changes, and that gives trees a cue in order to start going into dormancy, and then their leaves start changing color and stuff like that, and that's all like part of the storage process. So
you could do this with either an existing tree on your property, you could move it at this time, or you can buy a new tree and this is a good time to plant it. What is it that you should do to prepare the ground before you even put that tree in that hole?
First off, a lot of the times a tree, you need to prepare the root ball when it comes from a nursery. Sometimes it's a little too deep due to like production constraints, so you need to like expose the root flare. So that's where the trunk goes to the roots, and you need to like expose some of the fibrous and feeder roots so that they can grow freely through the planting hole. And then for the planting hole itself, you want it to be the exact depth of the root ball that you've prepared, and then 2 to 3 times wider than the.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. So and that allows for the roots to go into like more loose soil, and then you want to infill only with the native soil, not with any potted soil or special soil.
So you want to use the soil that you had just dug up.
It needs to get used to that soil, or else it's just going to keep circling around in the hole.
Okay, so then do you put in a stick to give it support during those winter months when that snow is flying? Do you
if necessary
water it a lot?
It depends on where you're planting, what kind of tree you're planting. If you want to stake it, if it's unstable, if the root ball falls apart, if it's in like a really wide open area with a lot of wind, then you want to support it, but you want to avoid doing that if you can, so the tree can anchor itself properly and grow with a proper taper. You don't want it dependent on a stake. And so, if you do install a stake, you want to take it off after 2 full growing seasons.
So this is a common mistake people make.
Yeah.
If this is overwhelming, people are watching this and they're like, what are you talking about? You're actually giving tips this weekend on how people can do this properly, right? Tell us about that.
Yeah, this Sunday in Westmount Park in Windsor Park, we're partnering with the Windsor Park Residents Association. We're hosting a tree planting demonstration where Green Drop is donating a tree to the park, and we're going to be planting it and giving a demonstration on how to do exactly what we were just talking about, how to prepare the hole in the tree. And then we're also raffling off 2 fully grown, like 8-foot, 10-gallon trees to anyone who attends. And the Windsor Park group is going to be there too with some fun stuff. So it's going to be a fun event.
So if someone wants advice or they want to ask you guys, the experts, on how to do it right, you're also going to be there to answer some questions, right?
Come on by, yeah.
Okay, well that sounds like a perfect way to transplant a tree. If you don't want to do it on your own, you want the advice from the experts.